Hey all, this is me, Hack, and I'm currently with Humor. I've started a new series where I meet with a bunch of hackers, try to understand their thought process. And in this video, Humor will tell us about cybersecurity 101, where we will talk about how to get started in cybersecurity. So, hey, Humor, can you introduce yourself a bit?
Hey, I'm Yuma. I'm an avid pen tester specialized in web and infra testing. I'm 19 years old and I lead a CTF team called the Black Knights. We're #2, so rank 2 on a platform called Hack the Box globally.
Okay, so by the way,
My ranking,
go ahead.
yeah, my ranking on Hack the Box is #12 at the moment. It does fluctuate between like 17 and like 20 sometimes. But that's because I'm not that active that much. But yeah, I do a lot of CTFs regularly every week.
So yeah, I don't think like a lot of people know about this, but I also like happen to lead a team which is very small team. So we are currently around, we float around like top 20, right? Top 20, top 25, stuff like that. So we are like a direct competitor with Huma, and we will like take the team, like we will probably like cross their team this year, hopefully. Anyways, enough. Enough about that. It was a joke, by the way. So in this video, we will talk about cybersecurity 101. So hey Yuma, like can you tell us about what is cybersecurity?
So, cybersecurity, well, it's something that we um, usually think as a bunch of hackers going down and securing networks, but there's a lot of elements to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is something like how individuals and like organizations help reduce the risk of cyber attacks. They could do this by defending themselves, they could do it by attacking software and testing software. So there's loads of different elements to cybersecurity itself.
So like can you tell us I also know like you also work as a penetration tester. So like can you tell us
Mhm.
something about that?
So I do work as a penetration tester, um, and I'm like doing web app pen testing. I specialize in web app penetration testing and as well as infra. So um, so what do you think? Well, I think that penetration testing is like where attackers all like work together and they perform like attacks on a system or a network or a website, you could say, and they try and find risks and security vulnerabilities as well as weaknesses that hackers could exploit. But we do this before the hacker exploits the vulnerability itself. So in this case, we technically report the vulnerabilities before the hackers try and just damage networks and like websites and stuff. So we're technically being a hacker before
Yeah.
the actual hackers come
Yeah,
in.
I was about to say that like we are like basically like hacking our clients before they get hacked, right? Before someone hacks them,
Yes.
before they lose their whole data, the whole like public reputation gets lost. We try to like protect them. Um, so I also like happen to work as a penetration tester. I'm not that experienced, but my also like work revolves around web app security. We can probably like talk more about them like later on in the video, like where we will discuss about different kinds of like terms where people happen to like go a lot about red teaming, blue teaming, stuff like that. So like yeah,
Hmm.
Huma, like so if you have to uh like in a very layman's term, like suppose like there's a businessman, and so like how like you will explain like cybersecurity to a businessman and why we need a cybersecurity, right? Because like I have seen like a lot of people and a lot of companies, they don't really like care about security in general. So like any thoughts on that?
I think a lot of people don't really care about cybersecurity that much because they just like leave it to the last thing on the list, and they just think that our website or our infrastructure is the best system.
Mhm.
However, there's loads of companies and loads of like organizations which are putting things in place, like uh, like loads of organizations are doing this to keep them safe. However, they usually could follow a system which like normally are tick the box exercises, and they don't tend to they just like hit the bare minimum of the standards. However, having extra security is um quite important. They just do the baseline and they scrap it in the bin. That isn't exactly how it should work.
Yeah.
So this is why a lot more security consultants or like penetration testers or red teamers to help secure organizations.
Okay, okay, so like we will skip one question for now. So like just like let's jump into like so one what someone needs to know, like who's just starting out in this industry, like do they need to know, do they like need to get really good at networking, do they need to get something networking at a level of CCNA, or like where exactly like we are supposed to start, like do we need to know programming, do we need to like very good at programming? So like yeah, like can you like tell us like where like you will advise someone to start in cybersecurity?
If I was able to advise someone to start on cybersecurity, I'd highly recommend the course called um, Certified what's it called now? CPTS, which is Certified
Penetration tester
something pen test
specialist. Yeah.
penetration tester.
Yeah. By the way, I'm
Yeah,
studying
that's the
for
one.
that right now.
Yeah, it's that course.
Yeah.
The reason why I suggest that is because it goes over the essentials. So it goes over from right from the start and what you need to know, what you need to learn, all the different topics, all the different attack vectors and different sections. However, I think having a prior understanding of programming, networks, languages. So I'd say you should learn the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Um, Python is a very important one. Scripting is also very important to learn because you'll have to automate loads of different things, and Python can do most of the job. Um, I also think you should learn PowerShell and Bash, even though these are not programming language. They're very useful scripting languages which can help you automate as well. I also suggest learning like um, well, understanding and learning JSON, YAML, um, like C sharp because C sharp is very important using Windows exploitation and reading Windows payloads and stuff like that, which is very advanced.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I mean, so like okay, so like Huma said like CPTS. I will like not really like agree a lot with it. Like I'm like studying for CPTS, and it will sound very strange, right? I mean, Huma is like very correct, but I will say like if someone is like just starting out and they don't really know a lot, right? So like I will say
hmm
they should probably like they can probably like follow some part from TryHackMe. So like TryHackMe got some like really good parts. So they can either start with like complete beginner part. I could be wrong. And they also have like junior penetration tester part or red teaming part. So they can probably start from there. And yeah, like what Yuma said, like different scripting languages, YAML, C sharp. Yeah, like those are like some skills which I believe like most of us need to know to get better. And the other place which I would say is like if you're someone who's just starting out, Ports figure like Web Academy could be a good place
yes,
to
I agree
start
with that one.
here, like because they have like
I
a
agree with
lot
that one.
of here because they have like a lot of great uh, labs on different web vulnerabilities, and other things could be like knowing about OWASP top 10s, like so like by the way, like did you know like OWASP top 10 is like not only limited to web app. It also has like
Yeah, that's
LLM
right.
here. So like OWASP, so they are like some really nice guys. So like they have like OWASP top 10 on web vulnerability. So if you're someone, okay, so like
And API
here,
and different things. Yeah.
yeah. So like if you're like someone like who is just starting out, like a lot of people tend to like focus on the web app part. Maybe because like there's like too much money involved over there, right? But yeah, like you can probably start with like OWASP top 10. Then there's like DVB and DV damn vulnerable web application. Then there's UShop. It's for someone like who wants to get into web part, and I happen to do like a lot of web app security things. So like yeah, but any other places which someone can start, like binary exploitation is also a thing, crypto, stuff like that. Do you have any ideas, Huma?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for cryptography, I'd highly suggest CryptoHack.
Oh yeah,
It
like it's a
has like
nice website.
yeah, it's a very nice website. It goes over the basics, start from the start. So like Fermat, little theorem, and all that stuff. RSA, you can specialize in different things. It has different paths, and yeah, you get to learn quite a lot from there as well. I've personally been on that site, and
Yeah.
it's very informative.
So like next, let's go to other questions. So like okay, so like this one, like I believe both of us can answer this one. So like if
Hmm.
someone like who gets into cybersecurity, they also, so cybersecurity is an industry where you need to be like very you need to keep yourself like very updated with different attacks. And correct me, like you might, like you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like in cybersecurity, like you need to learn new things every time, right? Like there are like different exploits which comes in different
Yes, that's
techniques,
right.
right?
Yes,
So
that's right.
so like can we say like CTFs can be a good place where we can try to keep ourselves like updated?
I'd say yes and no. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I say yes and no is because something like Hack the Box and or Track Me or something like that does help you learn about new technologies, new exploits coming up because the box owners makes them and all that stuff. However, I also think that looking at the path of how people make boxes, they actually read the news and read like the hacking news or um one of the oh what's it called again? Those there's like these forums
Yeah, I mean they can
and
like they can even like subscribe to like different newsletters too.
newsletters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could always like look on there. There's also the recent CVEs like Exploit DB and CVE Miter, like all these different sites you could look at and read CVEs, which can help a lot. Yeah, also the news is quite useful as well. So I usually um read the news as well, and I have that on my phone, and also I do hack the box and stuff like that
Mhm.
at
So
the
like
same time.
if someone has to like focus on like practical sides, like can we say like
Mhm.
any platform which could be like very beginner friendly for people like who are just starting out in the CTF scene?
Yeah, I'd say for people who start at the scene, I'd say HB Academy or HB Start Point.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a really good place because you get loads of support from the community and you can like listen to other people's tips and advice as well as Track Me, which is a great place for beginners as well.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like we can either start with something like Pico CTF, right? Pico CTF, I believe, is like a really good place if you are someone who is just starting out in like CTF scene, because they have like decent, I would say, labs on different categories, right? You can they have like bunch of categories. You can try their web app category, phone, crypto. Yeah, like I personally like started with Pico CTF when okay, so it's here's the story, right? So when I started out, I started with Pico CTF, and that time I didn't really knew a lot. I happened to have like some programming background, right? I'm Indian, just a joke. But yeah, I started out with Pico CTF, and I was with a group, like we all were like playing in a group as a team, and none of us like were like really able to get any point, but I kept trying, and there was a simple like CTO based on web app security. We were basically like the credential was like hard coded in the source code, so that was the only one which I was able to solve. But yeah, Pico CTO could be a great starting point, and like as Yuma said, like Hack the Box Academy could be a good place, and Hack the Box even got like starting point, so they have
Yes, as well.
here. Plus, if someone can combine like Hack the Box Academy with starting point, I believe that could be probably one of the best thing, right, Humor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Also, there's like academy versus labs. So like you could look index the labs for each like pathway, so you can like read and like do some practical work using that. There's also RootMe, which is a
Yeah,
French CTF, which has really realistic web challenges. There's also HackerOne CTF, which are also beginner friendly, or some of them are beginner friendly, and have different like CTFs which can help you bring points and get private um like
private invites on
private
Hacker
invites.
One,
Yes,
Hacker One.
HackerOne.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got like too much
it's
into
across the
Hack the
board.
Bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at our next question. So do you have like any advice for certifications? Because how much I know, like you don't have any certifications, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't have any certifications, oddly. Um, yeah. So basically, I'm trying to get into the certs pathway, even though I don't really like certs themselves. I'm just doing it because I believe um it's just important for my career growth at this time.
Mhm.
Like um these like opportunities keep coming up and they keep coming to me and saying you need OSCP for this job or OSWE for this job, and it's like, oh well, that's how it is. So yeah, I'm planning to do OSCP this year, as well as doing another cert which is CRTO,
Mhm.
which is
That's a
certified
great
red
one.
team operator.
Yeah.
uh, it's a very realistic certification and it goes really well with the OSCP's dry
Yeah.
dry material, but yeah, for AD.
Okay.
So I think
So
that's a very nice build up.
yeah. So like about me, so I happen to have not too many certification. Like I have like what, three certifications right now. So I started out with EJPT. Uh, Okay, so like if someone who's like just starting out, maybe EJPT could be good choice, but it's like if like money is concerned, don't go with certification. But if you are someone, look, I'm very young, not as experienced like most of the people, but what I've seen is like cybersecurity is like a very like certificate, like it's like very certification driven industry. So like if you don't have X certification like OSCP or some other things, you might not be able to land a job. That's what I have seen. But yeah, like I have like done EJPT. By the way, I got EJPT at a huge discount. Then I did Hack the Box CBBH, which is Web App Penetration Testing certification. And after that, I had to go through like CompTIA Pentest Plus. Uh, if you are someone who wants to do like any practical certification, don't do CompTIA Pentest Plus. Um, then I will go for like CPTS in 2 months from now, 2 or 3 months, I don't know. So yeah, like that's like my opinion on certification. It can really help if you want to get a job. At least like that's what I have seen. But if you want job, but if you're like someone looking for a job, I don't think like we. I guess if we both are like very young, I don't think like we both have like a lot of experience to like tell someone about job. But yeah, like you need certifications. At the same time, like you also need to be like very active in the community. Like you can like play CTFs a lot. You can either join my CTF team or you can go with Huma's CTF team, right?
Yeah, join my team. I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Okay, so like do you have like Huma, so like do you have like any advice for people who are trying to like get into this industry, anything?
I'd say learn a lot, learn a lot, and try and use that knowledge to make make projects or make um make blogs or make posts or make content. Then you'll be recognized,
Mhm.
and you learn a lot from it.
Yeah.
I also suggest if you do want to go down the cert ladder, um, I'd start with CPTS and then go for the OCP if that's what you want to go for, and then CRTO, CRTP like that. Like it would be great. Well, to be honest, certifications do depend on which path you'd want to go on to.
Yeah.
Like there's like loads of different paths you could go on to,
Yeah.
like
By
site
the way, like
development.
by the way,
Yeah.
on part, right? So like we forgot to like talk about red teaming, blue teaming parts. So, like maybe like you can continue and we can talk about red teaming, blue teaming later on.
Yep. So there's like different types of penetration testers. There's different types of web penetration testers. So many different stuffs to so many different categories to get specialized in.
Yeah.
So depending on what your strength is, what you think the best cert or pathways for you will determine on which certification packs you may want to try and learn from. So also suggest having a mix of knowledge between blue teaming and red teaming.
Yeah.
You know, the
That's
usual
yeah. We
saying,
say purple teaming,
the
right?
yes, the usual saying, you can't become a good red teamer without having blue teaming knowledge.
Yeah.
It's very
Like
important.
like even
So,
like my current like work like revolves around purple teaming, which is like configuring like systems. It's basically like making labs, right? So yeah, like
mhm,
purple teaming could be a good choice. Like if you like both like attacking at the same time, have a knowledge about how you can be a part of a defending team, which we say blue teamers, right? By the way, like Huma,
mhm,
like I have a quick question. Like why like so
okay.
many people like have like so much craze over red teaming? Like why they like red teaming so much?
I believe a lot of people like red teaming a lot more because they just think it's like, oh yes, hacking,
Yeah,
Matrix.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I think not everyone underestimates the blue teaming. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of the blue teaming myself, but without the blue teamers, we basically don't we can't function without the blue teamers. We
yeah,
kind of need blue teamers to um help us. Like we kind of need blue teamers to help us patch the vulnerabilities. That's very important.
yeah. By the
Recently,
way,
we
like
used
yeah, like by the way,
yeah.
like what I have heard from people, so like most of the companies like prefer to hire blue teaming people, right, to configure to fix their systems. Like I've also like
Mhm.
I have like read somewhere, I don't know how correct I am, but like the saying goes like if someone wants to hire 10 people for cybersecurity, 9 of them turns out to be a blue teamer and one of them turns out to be a red teamer. I could be very wrong, right? But I believe like blue
Mm-hmm.
teaming is like very essential, like it's something which is very important, and it has like a lot of jobs, and we
Mm-hmm.
of like yeah, like most of us, like even I, like tend to like overlook blue teaming skills, but there are like many great platforms right now where you can learn blue teaming skills. Like even like hack me
Yeah.
got different parts, even hack
Heck,
the box got
yeah.
like CDSA, right?
Yes.
Which is crazy. Like hack the box was
Yeah.
supposed to be like red team only, right? but they got okay, they got blue teaming ones. By the way, like none of them are like sponsoring us, so maybe hack the box. If someone is like listening from hack the box, please like give us some voucher for like pro labs, maybe for the exams, but other like websites could be like let's defend, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, is like a great website for learning blue teaming part. Then there's another
And attack
website,
defense.
yeah, attack. Oh yeah, like that's a really good one. Like they have like a lot of labs, like attack and defend. And
Yeah.
then the other one could be cyber defenders.
Blue team labs.
Yeah, blue
Oh
team
yeah.
labs, yeah, BTL, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be a good place to start with. But again, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm no good with like blue teaming, so take my advice for blue teaming with a grain of salt. But yeah, like, and my okay, so like about like advice, like Yuma told us about like being active in the community. I will say like yeah, like that's a very good advice, because like most of us like tend to be like, hey, like I have like a lot of skills, but most of the time like we don't have like a good formals, like I will say like soft skill, right? Like Huma,
Mm-hmm.
like do you have like any thoughts on like having good soft skill? Because I have seen like a lot of people like who are like crazy talented, but they can't, but they lack like basic soft skills, like making reports. Like they can't even like communicate properly, or they can't even like spell properly. So do you have like any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are very technical and they keep being technical, and like because of that they just like kind of neglect social and like communication skills and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are getting better at it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think we should like improve on our social skills because it's incredibly important, especially when communicating with clients,
Yeah.
client engagements, and like report writing. I mean, my first report was really bad in my opinion, but I learned a lot from it at work. But as time went on, I got incredibly better, and like it has improved a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've learned a lot from that.
The
So
other thing
yeah.
which yeah, the other thing which I would say is like maybe focus on LinkedIn too, right? Because I
Hmm.
happen to have like
Exposure.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it gives like a lot of like exposure. Like you happen to like meet a lot of people like who are actually working in the industry, so maybe like you can make some really good connection. I happen to like
Hmm.
got like some work from LinkedIn only, right? So like at
Hmm.
first like I was like I thought like LinkedIn to be a website like where like people are like bunch of boomers. Okay, I will get a lot of hates, right? But hey, like I was young back then. I'm still young, and like my thought about LinkedIn has changed. Now I believe like LinkedIn is a really good place to come to like network with people like who are like actually working in cybersecurity. Like earlier, my main focus was on Twitter, but I would say like LinkedIn can help you like make some really good connection with people.
Hmm. I
Uh,
agree with that.
yeah.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
So like, do we have like any other things to discuss?
Should we discuss about the different parts of like pen tests?
Oh yeah, like we can talk about that.
Yeah. So like there's different types of pen tests. Like there's an external like assessment that they do, So like you can analyze public information and do network scans, enumerations, and like there's the internal penetration testing assessments, which is like you just like exploit vulnerabilities internally. So there's different types of like boxes, like there's like black box, there's white box, and there's gray box.
Mhm.
So black box is like what we do on CTFs. It's like we have no prior knowledge of the system or the network, or we have a limited information. So we may have a hint on the Twitter feeds that they post on Hack the Box, or you could easily find information from the box's name or like hints from the pictures, but that's about it. You can't go that far.
Yeah.
Or also you could go that far by doing OSINT on the box creators and like make scripts to automate that.
Yeah, but like you want like hold on for a minute. So like for people like who don't know like what external pen testing is and internal, so like let me just try to like explain this in a layman's terms. So like external pen testing is like, let's take a company example like xyz.com. I hope it's a fake company, and it's a fake company for now. So like in like external pen test, we will have to like we will not have a lot of information about the company except the external facing server. So it could be like company's external facing website, which could be like its public website, and from there like we have to like figure out how we can hack it. So like we have to figure out we have to figure out some sort of a security vulnerability, and then we can move on. And for internal assessment, I believe like we happen to be like given some access to an internal environment, and from there like we have to move on from there. I hope like I'm correct, Yuma, right?
Yep, yeah, you're definitely
Yeah.
correct. There's also different types of boxes, so like black box. So
Yeah.
like in black box pen testing, the attacker has like no prior knowledge of the system or the network. So they're trying to simulate an attacker with a limited information. White box pen testing, however, is like when an attacker knows and has complete knowledge of the system. It's usually provided by the owner or the client of the target, and it's simulating like a informed attacker, a highly informed attacker. And then
Mhm.
there's gray box testing, which like falls in between this gray area, you know, falls in between the black box and white box. So the attacker has some kind of knowledge about the network or system. So he's or she's simulating a partially informed attacker.
Mhm. So like okay, so like by the way, like do we have like any resources like if someone wants to get better at white box pen testing? So like for people who don't know like white box pen testing, most of the time we have to like look at different source code, right? So basically we have to do
That's
like
right.
some sort of a like source code review. So like Yuma, like do you have like
Mhm.
any like resources or any websites which we can mention in, like from there like they can
Um,
learn about white box pen testing, or we can like basically like talk about things which they need for white box pen testing, maybe like a knowledge about some sort of a programming language, a really good knowledge by the way, um some other things which we can mention in.
I think Pentester Labs has a source code review module,
Yeah,
I
they do have
think,
one.
and also Hacktricks must have one as well. So
Mhm.
Hacktricks is like a place where there's loads of information about hacking, and like the guy who made it, I think it's Carlos. He um he emulates and creates different like MD files which has different information which is for free. So it's on bookhacktricks.xyz, and it has a section where it talks about source code review tools. So there's like the OWASP community, and there's static analysis tools. There's different tools there, which has it's got loads of information there, so you can have to check out.
Mhm. By the way, Yuma, like I have like a question. So like I get like a lot of question.
Mhm.
Like it's very like strange, right? So like I've seen like guys who are like really good at hacking like anything which is based on Linux. But when it comes to like Windows, I don't know like why they like get scared or what. Like, so like, do you have like any advice for that? Like how someone can get started with like pen testing Windows, like Active Directory or other things, like privilege escalation in privilege escalation in Windows or stuff like that.
I'd say the best course is the course I'm literally doing right now is CRTO.
Mm-hmm,
Um, CRTO has a very broad range of um broad range of everything that's on there, and it has a lot of information on the basics as well as the person who does it, Rasamouse. He's created I think two pro labs. I might be wrong.
mm-hmm.
Offshore
Yeah,
and
Rasta Lab. I believe,
offshore and
yeah,
Rasta.
I believe offshore was created by Mr. Ben, and Rasta Lab was
Oh,
created by Rasta Mouse, I believe. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So I'd highly recommend doing Rasta labs, which has a Active Directory section.
Yeah.
Also,
By
Zephyr
the way, like,
has Active Directory.
we are currently like talking about labs, which is on Hack the Box. So like, Rasta Labs is like a pro lab, which is on Hack the Box. Then Cepho is like another pro lab, which is on Hack the Box. You may continue now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can continue. Like, sorry for like interrupting
Oh,
you.
all right. Sorry. No, no, it's alright. Um, where was I? I honestly forgot.
We were like talking about like Zephyr, Pro
All right.
Lab,
Oh,
Rasta Lab.
Zephyr.
Yeah.
So those are advanced labs where you can learn about different techniques, and like all these labs have a lot of different information about Active Directory. There's also tracks on Hack the Box, which has Active Directory, especially intro to different modules like Active Directory, password cracking, and different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'd say the best resource for Active Directory is to like research different elements from the CRTO list and like read different blog posts or watch different videos from it could be from John Hammond, it could be from Live Overflow, it could be from different places, and try and make that knowledge into a cheat sheet so then it can be referenced or you could use it later on. You can also build that knowledge from doing practicals like on the HTTP website, doing labs there. There must be some Active Directory labs on Hack the Box as
Yeah.
well.
So
Um,
like I'm like also like
yeah.
currently like so like in CPTS parts, like CPTS, like I believe like I have mentioned, which is like certified penetration testing specialist from Hack the Box. So like they have like even like some good modules on Active Directory, Windows, like basic like exploitation on Windows would be a thing. Like they have like labs on Windows privilege escalation and Active Directory like attack and enumeration, I believe. Then they have like basic modules on some like really like beginner friendly modules like intro to like Active Directory, where people can learn about basic concepts about Active Directory, I believe. And after that, they even have like some really good modules which goes into like advanced Active Directory. And then even Trahack me like got some like different parts, but I haven't really done them. But maybe in future I will do it. Yeah. So I mean, hey, like humor, like so, like I had like we have like mentioned Hack the Box so much, right? And they are not even sponsored. Okay, leave it. That was a bad joke. Okay, so like can we like do we have like any other things to mention in?
I don't think so.
Okay, so like with that, like we'll probably like end this video. Thanks Yuma for like joining in. Like really appreciate it. And thanks for watching it. So Huma, like, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything?
No, not really. I think this has been a really great opportunity to talk to you, Hack. And
Same
yeah,
here. So bye, Yuma, and have a great day, guys. Like whoever like gonna watch this video later on, because it was very hard for both of us to like talk properly, right? So like we will see how this like a video like turns out to be, but yeah, like I will sound bad as always, but hey, thanks for joining in. Thanks, Yuma. Bye.